Kubiyake gima omwanchi omuliem na charagire chinsa isano na ibere chiabono mogasobu na chire chitariki emerongo ebere omutenyi ogatano na gatatu omwaka gwechiri bubere mengwansa merongo ebere nebere asine yariganiri kurugeta sinikiga kia Ndizi TV lindengo erera na raya nyariko bakako korekana kurwa chingongo chionsi chinsi chinga kitoro che Nudin Haji anyateko bagakurikali ukogo chia ase Inspector General Hilary Mutambai anyariko bakako ngoya obotuki ase ogosira ku returning officer Daniel Musyoka ase enchira etamanyika ndibo igo abarayikurwa ase obumo bwa Kenya Kwanza Alliance nigo baganiriye gotagosererwa kwa ababisaba ABC erinde banyarako bakogenderane gasiabo ase enchira endonge umwanchi muliyera na mange ngwariganete ase ebirebiga kolinde ngwirana ndasegekegeke ngumanye amange. Eritariane Frida Kerubo na sechinsemo chibiorokerelio ni gotogo chikunyako tukubwateranere Joshua Autagenda gotobwatia asechinsemo chicha Facebook na bakotonyora witra Ndizi TV News Digital na bago chinsemo cha YouTube na bakotonyora witra Ndizi TV News na sensemo ya website na bakotonyora witra www.ndizitv.or.ke Yo manchi muri gingo chaka kigima niongo chaka buna magega yo munachi omo director abukuna cha ekina omone Nudin Haji kolikali ukogo chia ase omo Inspector General Hilary Mutambai kwangoya obotuki ase amatuko atano nabere linda konyora obwene bugosira ase omo returning officer Daniel Musyoka chinga kichobo choli wale gokorekana bononigo ebyombe abyenyere kwa bigwe sokya nabo kugania engane yokugayanwa ase enchira yobwango oigo nigo banyere ko bakomochi obocholi obonene ase enseitu ya Kenya ase batebiribuna nigo bisaba nyareko bagosira ase chinga kichintambe kubatekana nobocholi obwo nabo igo ase omo ICT oyo nyateko bakagosira ase omwaka w'ikiri bubere 15 na ibere na Musyoka ase enchira etamanyika ntiyaro botira ase enchira yobwenye.
The office of DPP has to ask Mutambai to do his job. They should have done from the first day, from that minute. So they're not doing any investigation on it. Okay. If they were serious, those guys would be apprehended by now.
Issue of loss of lives. Elections have often caused human rights abuses, loss of lives and serious injury. We are saddened by the unnecessary deaths of people in the country during the electoral period. And among them, there is the Embakasi East returning officer, Daniel Musyoka, was abducted while on official duty and later found dead in Loitoktok. We demand that the police and relevant authorities thoroughly investigate, prosecute and adjudicate these crimes. We also remind Kenyans that the family of the IBC ICT director, Chris Musando, has yet to receive justice for his murder in 2017.
Nigo obotuki bagendete ase oyosireti obugima waye asomwaka w'ekiri 2015 na ibere mu ICT manager Chris Musando korende togotigana nayo ekyombege kwegerera obwene bwo mwanyabantu bono nigo kiesokiri nabigo kubakira abakenya mbiyamono kubatekana n'obocholi banyarako bogo korekana ase enchira yobotoreru korende nigo banyariko bakumurikira narai anyateko bakako korekana chingaki emechando anyateko bagekwenekirwa chingaki kiri cyobocholi seba mulikire naki ekyombegete ntobocholi nechimbebe IEBC Kenya takobage kwene kimuna obocholi banyere kwa bogo kolekana ase enchera endongi.
Wish to congratulate Kenyans for the restraint they have exercised despite the emerging concerns on the outcome of the 2022 elections. It has been a tumultuous season with positives and negatives that require acknowledgement and serious reflection if they were to enhance the electoral process that has remained deficient in trust over the years. Despite massive investment of hope and resources, Kenyan expected the IBC to conduct an election that is free and fair, simple, accurate, verifiable, secure, accountable, and transparent. It is these parameters that we're going to use this morning to evaluate the performance of the IBC. We have made the following observation of the electoral process. 1. Failure of the KIMS kit. Over 200 KIMS kits failed to identify voters during voting. This translates, in our view, actually, this translates to a lot of voters who may have been disfranchised. In many cases, it took the IBC many hours to allow the use of manual register to identify voters.
Tinga kechio boigo ni goba momochiri omonyakerogo bwekiyombegete nentobachari nechimbebe IEBC wafula Chebukati ase obotutukanu banyateko abokwenekiwa eye kagera obachari bwekirogo kyobugavana imiye county ya Mombasa na boigo Kakamega gosikiwa mutu boigo ni gobaganiri ekigambero kwena na lichiko ase obachari buchiko kolekana ase amatuko 18 alebosio
of elections by the IBC chairperson. On August 8, IBC chairperson Chebukati announced that elections were cancelled in 2 counties, mainly Mombasa and Kakamega, and various other places like Pokot South, Kachaliba, and Tharaka Nithi County, and of course there was Kitui Rural. According to Chebukati, errors and other mixed up in the details and images of candidates on the ballot papers rendered them unusable. However, Chebukati did not explain to voters how these errors had happened, as the commission must have signed off on proof copies of ballot papers and tender documents, prescribed document specifications. This has had the effect of disenfranchising voters and offending the constitution, which provides for them when elections shall be held. And of course, we know the basis for cancellation of the elections is in the event of insecurity, disaster, and also violation of the Elections Act.
Abarai korwa ase obomobwa Kenya Kwanza Alliance nigo babo mochiri abamirani babo korwa ase obomobwa Azimio la Umoja ase okogosereria ababisaba ABC ase chinga kicho babaganire ko bachinga kichintoereru ase ogokora emirimo yabo. Chinga kicho nigo banyere ko bagusaba abakenya koba abatoereru chinga ki ekerugo ose obochori bw'ikirugo cy'ubugavana banyara ko babo gusikirwa mutwe.
Wapinzani wetu ambao wamepeleka kesi kotini ndio wale ambao wanatishia. Mumeona hata ujumbe katika mitandao ya kijamii wakisema kwamba hawataruhusu watu fulani watembee town, hawataruhusu watu fulani wafanye jambo fulani. Lakini ningependa kusema kwamba hiyo ni vitisho tu. Waache kutisha maafisa wa IBC. Maafisa wa IBC ni wa Kenya kama sisi, na wanahitaji wapewe security ya kutosha, wanahitaji wasitishwe wakifanya kazi yao, wafanye kazi yao vile katiba ilikuwa imesema kwamba they are an independent commission, na wasishurutishwe na mtu yoyote. Hata wakienda kotini, koti haina nguvu ya kusema kwamba IBC, kushurutisha IBC ifanye uchaguzi, kwa sababu IBC is an independent commission, vile tu judiciary pia is an independent organ.
We want to condemn the activities of our opponents and the Azimio coalition because they are now spreading a lot of propaganda and rumors which is unfounded. We have no evidence that the returning officer of Kakamega has said that he is ready for the election. We know the returning officer of Kakamega is under the guidance and direction of the chairman. And if the chairman says the elections have to be postponed, then he must have received enough information from the returning officer and other officers in Kakamega to indicate that Kakamega County is not ready for an election this time.
Tinga kiechio boigo nigo bagania abakenya gwanchirana amachibu na boigo kogenderera egasi yabo ase boigo bagania omulembe kobororo chinga ki chionsi korende oyo kuligia ekero kyobugavana wetera ekiamagia ANC ime county ya Kakamega Cleophas Malala nigo anyara ko bakagoteba erunyere ko bagakubwatiri chiko korwa ase ekyombe keligia IBC buna obochori banyere ko bogosikirwa mutu na boigo oteba nale ange chingaki ekyombe kekeranyara ko bagekuruli tuko chingaki obochori buranyara ko bogokolekana.
Tishio watishe wasitishe, kura itaendelea. IBC saa Chebukati tunasema kwamba wawache Chebukati. IBC is an independent body. Chebukati afanye mambo ya uchaguzi na tuendelee na waforge ahead. Mambo ya kulialia kwa sababu wameshindwa, wakubali. Wakenya waendelee na biashara zetu, watoto wetu wasome, wakina mama tunataka tufanye biashara na tunataka environment ya amani. Sasa sisi tunasi wale wanatisha IBC, tunasema mukome mukubali ma results vile zimetoka. Raila ameshindwa, saa hii president ni William Samoei.
Sisi kama Kenya Kwanza tuko very patient na tunasema kwamba tutafata yale maagizo ambaye IBC itatupatia. Ile siku ambaye IBC itakuwa tayari kufanya uchaguzi wa Kakamega, sisi tumesema tutakuwa tayari kufanya uchaguzi siku yoyote ambaye IEBC itapeana, lakini tunakashifu wale viongozi wa mrengo mwingine ule kwa kushtumu na kwa kushtua na kwa kufanya kwamba wale maafisa wa IEBC wa feel intimidated.
Omo Secretary General Okotu Francis Atwoli nigo atebire bunamba kigwanchira na akona chawiki nakorwa ase ekigambero kubatekana na machibu ase ekirgo kyuborai wense ayonyara ko bakagosoka bwanguiga gukwana na bakenya nigo abaganire ko ba abatareru nabigo kweneki omorembe chinga kichensi chinga kigapaganyirete okona cha ekinakorwa ase ekigambero.
Is the key. Kwa hivyo ningeliwasihi wa Kenya vile tulivyomshauri, na pia Raila Amolo Odinga akakubali ushauri wetu na wengine waliomshauri kuliko mimi, ya kwamba ni lazima tufuate njia ya kotini. Wacha tungojee matokeo ya kotini. Naye William Samoei Ruto akasema matokeo ya kotini nitayakubali. Hawa wawili wakisha kuyakubali, sisi ni nani? Sisi pia tutayakubali. Na ningelisihi wale wanaenda kwa mitandao na mambo ingine ya kuandika ya kuinsight watu ama kuleta maneno ingine, kuleta vitisho, wawache maneno kama hiyo, tuachie kotini, watu waendelee na kazi zao kama kawaida, na yatakayotoka kwa kotini sisi pia tutayafuata. Kabla hiyo tukipa amani ni kitu ya maana. Wale wanaosema mambo ya vita wangeliuliza wale waliokuwako zamani katika enzi zile tulipokuwa tunatafuta uhuru. Yule tutakayeambiwa sasa ni huyu, tutasema hewa.
Omokonyi boyo likoligia ekirgo ky'oburai bwense wetera obomo bwa Azimio la Umoja Martha Karua onanigo aisokiri na boigo komo mochi omorai bwense ogatano omochore Dr. William Ruto ase ogotabwati na boigo gosikari chiko ria Kenya. Hayanigo agocha magega ya abarai kurwa ase obomo bwa Azimio la Umoja abanyate kwa bagochorwa konganya kurwa ase obomo bwa Azimio la Umoja na boigo gosoa ase obomo bwa Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Is that
it is unfortunate for anybody who aspires to lead this country and for somebody who is a deputy president of the outgoing government to break the laws of the country. Our Political Parties Act, under which coalitions are built, stipulates very clearly that anybody leaving a coalition, there is a process. So for the deputy president to start wooing people, enticing them to leave a coalition without the requisite legal provisions is either a display of impunity or gross ignorance of the law of the land. I think knowing him, his true colors are showing. Lack of respect for the rule of law, and a deficit of democracy in his actions.
Wekerabu mwanchi umuliyera nigo naikire omwele wa mangana maya sebire bigakorende ngo gusaba tubasagusika tubasakonyegera genda kubwatia emerobelinde imiyegeta seni na mbemo egeta seni kia Ndizi TV genda kutubwatia asichinsemo chiri cha Facebook gwetera Ndizi TV News Digital na bego chinsemo chiri cha YouTube na bego tonyara gwetera Ndizi TV News asensemo ya website na bego tonyara gwetera www.ndizitv.or.ke maiga ichi kamera soko enekibuna ebicha na bego eliogira gwikira sole asenchira yabene nere Petronira mukira tonya ko tokobwatana nere Joshua Auta asichinsemo chibiorokerelio na ncheria ne Frida Kerubo.